Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're really excited to share a little bit about the cultural emergence pathways and the different courses that are available. At the moment, Looby's audio is a little bit broken, so hopefully that will sort itself out. It usually does in a few minutes. For now, my name's Leona Johnson, and Regina is also there. Give us a wave, Regina, and we'll be hosting this call together with Looby when her audio is back on. So the call is going to be about 1 hour long-ish. We'll try and keep it within the hour, and we are going to be recording it throughout so that we can share it with other people who might be also interested but couldn't make it tonight. So there's quite a lot of people who signed up online, and we'll get the recording afterwards. And there will be opportunity for question and answers towards the end, but if you have any questions throughout anything that we're presenting and sharing, then do feel free to put them in the chat, and we can keep a tab of them there, and then you don't have to hold them for the whole time, and we can get to the questions when we get to the end. But hopefully a lot of your questions will be answered through the things that we share and discuss. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to share right now. I think, yeah, just welcome and thank you for showing up. Obviously, if you've heard the call and you're interested in cultural emergence, then you're in the right place. We're really excited to share a little bit more about what we're going to be doing over and the different options that are available over the next months.
Yeah, thank you, Leona, for bringing us in, and I invite everybody to come into your bodies and into your place. You are all coming from different places on this beautiful planet and coming from so many different times of the day and different things to do. Some maybe are just getting up, and some are like here at the end of the day. And so just relax, take a deep breath, and feel into your body and feel into your place where you are sitting. Is it warm? Is it cold? Inside, outside? And yeah, just be here. And if you feel, share some gratitude in the chat, and we will start with gratitude. To bring our hearts and minds together and to have a connective call here. And my gratitude goes first to everybody coming here to the call, and also to this amazing way of connecting from all over the world, Zoom, which actually is run by stones, because all these things in our devices are coming from stones, and enables us to connect in this way on a virtual fire. And I'm grateful for stones also in a different way, because this came into my hand today. I found it at a beach. I think this one at a beach. Sometimes I find them here in the forest. And this is a stone, a flint stone, and it's a very, very old track. And it connects me in two ways. One, the flint stone, we call it here in Germany, we call it Feuerstein, which directly translated is firestone, because you can use it to light fire. And it also connects to the ancestors, which fire does also. A lot of people say that, at least, and I feel the same. And this is a very, very, very old ancestor of all of us, or at least we have common ancestors which we share. And this one left really tracks here, and reminds me always that, yeah, there's a really long line before us, and hopefully going on in multiple ways. And I'm also grateful for this beautiful spring with a lot of flowers. And as I'm inside, it's very cold here today. I'm grateful for the heater, but I brought some nature inside, and by this time of the year it's replacing my smudging sticks, because they have really a beautiful smell. So I'm grateful for the abundance of nature, and I pass on to Leona.
Thank you, Regina. Yeah, I am really grateful today for my body and my health, actually. Yeah, I've had a really, really busy few weeks. I feel like I've not stopped. I haven't really had a day off. I ran a retreat at the weekend. I planned to have a nice day on Monday, but it didn't happen. I did have a nice day, but it was a very busy day. It wasn't a rest day. And so I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling, quite tired and quite achy, but that I have everything that I need in terms of nourishment and abundance of food, and that I have good practices to help me loosen up and really feel my body and keep me fit and keep me strong. So yeah, really grateful for my health and my body, and also for today, the elemental connections, because I was really grateful for the rain this morning, for the same reason as I was feeling overwhelmed. Whenever the weather's good, I feel the need to get out all the time, and really I just needed a bit of downtime. So this real soft mist, I just went out and let the soft mist land on my face, and then I came up to my workspace, and the wind whistles through my window, which most people would find terrible, drafty. It's probably, but I love the sound of it. And then this afternoon, just before I joined the call, the sun came out, and that gave me to go out and meet the day, the fresh air and the sunshine on my face. And it just makes me feel so alive to be able to welcome the elements, however they come. So yeah, I'm grateful to be here and see all your lovely faces. I'll pass to Looby.
Hello, you could give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yes, hooray. Yeah, I'm really grateful. I've had a film crew here for the last 2 days at Applewood, and I'm just really grateful for just their skills, and just grateful for everyone bringing all their unique skills into the world, and just how they're all needed in different ways. And so I was just really grateful for them being able to do things that I can't, and for their eyes and perspective on looking at Applewood just kind of brought me a whole new level of appreciation of being here as well. So yeah, and I'm grateful to now be inside and sharing with you all on Zoom. That's really special as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your gratitude, and also for the gratitude in the chat. And I'm sure there are a lot of little things which came up through listening, or which maybe we are aware of what we are grateful after the call, or maybe something we are just not aware of, which is supporting us. We don't even know that. So I want to bring all this also in our gratitude. And let us have a good connection for the whole call here. Back to Louis.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's always so nice to share gratitude and take our awareness to things that we maybe had taken for granted. So we wanted to start our journey with a little bit about storytelling about our cultural emergence journeys, just briefly, because the three of us have been on a journey for a while with cultural emergence. And for me, it's been really an intricate part of my life while I've been writing the book, before that and doing courses. And while I was writing the book, it was really helpful for me over lockdown to really be supported in this embodied place of emergence that we were all thrust into over the pandemic, where it was all questionable what was happening, and the unspoken rules of engagement socially that we'd been living with all shifted, and to be able to navigate that with the tools and then write about them was really helpful. And I still lean into them every day now, of how to stay connected, how to stay effective as well, and to be gentle with myself, balancing the being gentle with myself and self-care with being present with what's happening in the world, and being present and effective with moving forwards in my projects, and being able to weave those things together has been really really valuable with the cultural emergence tools. So yeah, it's kind of a bit difficult for me to share quite how much it's influenced me, because it's been so integral to my life. So this is where it's great to have co-facilitators. So I'm really grateful that Regina and Leona are going to be co-facilitating with me this summer. So I'm going to pass over to you, Leona, because you're unmuted, or Regina, do you want to go next? Sorry.
Yeah, I can go next. Also, how Looby said, the cultural emergence journey is quite long. We can talk maybe really a long time about that. And my journey with cultural emergence started with an HU's program called Village Talks, a weekly call, an online village. And there was a series where Looby was introducing the design web to us. And that really struck me and was really interesting anyway. And there was this limit anchor point where I was really like, oh my God, I'm not thinking so much about limits. And this is so important. It makes all so much sense. And I took this in my vision for the 2019 year, and included that I would go to Applewood, which I did for the Peace course, and then at Looby in person. And so there was also John Young was there, and during a talk, I realized that I'm running empty with my business. I'm a biologist, but also rewilding people. So I want to bring nature in everyday life. And so there I was like, oh, okay, I need to use the design web for that. And I was back a few weeks later in Applewood for the seed course, and started actually my life design, which I was not aware of by that time, like going regenerative on all levels. And then I joined the fit course, which was planned to be in person in Applewood and online, and it was really great. We did it all online because I found it so helpful, all these cultural emergence tools, and so natural, and that I want to share that with other people as well. So this was the facilitator intensive training, and since then I'm supporting Looby in online courses. I'm in the team, and I'm really happy to be co-facilitating the Peace course in Applewood, and going back to Applewood finally after so many years, how it feels. And yeah, it's part of my life. I mean, it's very flexible to use all these tools, and the great thing is that everybody can use it in a different way, and it's very individually, it's very diverse how you can apply that. And it's a flexible structure I was looking so long for, and it's an ongoing journey. And that's what I really, really love. It feels really alive and natural. So I pass on to Leona.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think my journey with this work began quite a few years ago. When I was in my 20s, I was a social worker. So I was working in the community with hard to reach families, and really in a lot of deprivation. And what I experienced was just extreme disconnection. People really disconnected from themselves, their bodies, their desires, their hearts, their minds, and from each other, actually, from being able to communicate, well what they needed and wanted, and especially from the land, from nature. And I found, in fact, being a social worker was also not working for me, because I felt like I was just maintaining the status quo. And I really started this search then for, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. And I was feeling overwhelmed. I didn't know where I belonged. I felt I needed some meaning and some direction. And I was worried about the world and how, you know, our capacity for overconsumption seemed to be endless. And so I did a course with Starhawk, actually, and Andy Goldring, an Earth Activist training, and that just led me a permaculture design course, which also included earth-based spirituality, and it led me on to finding Looby's book about 11, 12 years ago, which I found was like my Bible at the time, because my concern really is about connection with community and people, and how do we, as humans, we've got all the tools available to us. We already know that. We already know that if the resources were directed in the right places, we could do all that was needed. But we don't seem to know how to do that as humans. We don't seem to know how to look after our own selves. And so, yeah, it's been a natural journey towards cultural emergence, which as soon as I heard it a few years ago, my ears pricked up and I was like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what all the things that I'm loving about the 8 Shields model of nature connection, which I've been working with for 7 or 8 years, and nature connection and ecotherapy, and just bringing ourselves into better communication. I work with a lot of nonviolent communication, and also ways of bringing ourselves back into being a broad sense of spiritual awareness, whatever that means to us. You know, that we have something other than ourselves to connect us. And so, yeah, my journey with and to Emergence has been driven by my passion for connection. And I've recently, a couple of years ago during lockdown, set up a podcast called Connect, and that enabled me to meet and pull together stories and conversations with people who are doing inspiring work in all these different areas. But fundamentally, it's all about connection. How do we find our ways back to living our everyday life more healthily, more balanced, more sustainably? And how do we do that together? And so I'm really, really excited to be working together with Regina and Looby in order to do the Peace course this year. And I love, all of the courses that are on offer are just such rich tools that are flexible and will be used in life again and again and again, and somehow just makes sense. So yeah, really grateful, Looby, for bringing them forth, and really grateful to be part of this, and really grateful to all of you who show up, because there's something about cultural emergence that needs bringing forward into the world.
Thank you, Leona. And please, could you put the link to your podcast in the chat? It's Connection Matters podcast, but I know that people here will really be fascinated by all the different conversations you've got there, including a couple with me as well, which has been nice to deepen our connection through that podcast. And actually, you've also been part of the Mother Nature podcast with me as well. So we obviously enjoy talking to each other a lot and get a lot out of it, and hope that you do as well. So we've been mentioning the Seed course and the Peace course and the ACE course, and so I wanted to share a little visual that will help people see what those different courses are, and just talk a little bit more about what they are. Can people see my screen? Yep, okay. So this is lovely, thank you. So one of the things that I've been aware of when I've been teaching permaculture is that the permaculture design course is this huge influx of information, and then you're left kind of wanting more, but you're not sure where to go, and it's like it doesn't have the integration time. So the cultural emergence toolkit is as big and extensive really as the permaculture toolkit, and so I really didn't want to do the same thing of just creating overwhelm by trying to put it all into one course. So I was really designing these learning pathways so that you can do these courses in any order, because if you know me, you know that I enjoy non-linearity and that things can build upon each other. So we have these 3 courses, which is the ACE, the Activating Cultural Emergence course, and this is a weekend course where you really, all of these have all been available online as well. They're not currently, but they will come back online probably over the winter. So when I say weekend course, it's also available as an online course. But the ACE course is a weekend where you really get a big picture overview of what the cultural emergence toolkit is, and really awaken to the possibilities that it can have with you. And so you get to start to play with it and see how it feels. And so it's part of the challenge and awaken phase of really exploring what culture means, what do systems mean, what is the toolkit all about. And then we have the SEED course, which is Cultural Emergence Effective Design. And this is where we go through the design web and create a design for ourselves. So Regina talked about a life design, and it can be anything. It can be a really small design that you do for yourself, organising your workspace, for example, or it could be a really big design. It could be around designing your family dynamics or your business, or it could be about designing your nature connection journey. So whatever it is that's present in your life, you can take that and do a design, and then you can carry on doing more designs as well. So it's also about building our effectiveness and the move and invigorate phase. So we really grow in effectiveness, we manifest through design and action. So it's about being proactive in our lives. And then we have the Peace course, which is Peace, Empowerment and Cultural Emergence. And this is all about the Nourish and Empower phase. So this is the deep, finding our gifts and just really coming into that place of peace in our bodies, really deeply felt sense of peace. So there are tools, there is some talking around it, but mostly it's an embodied course where we're really feeling that. And this is why I invited Leona and Regina to co-facilitate with me on the Peace course, because I know that they are very deeply immersed in their nature connection journey. So that just ripples out, and just being in their presence, you feel that, and you start to develop your own nature connection just from being around them. Or that's how I feel that when I'm in their company. So that's why I thought together we'd make this really powerful team that would really support everyone in that journey. And also because I just thought, yeah, great to have them at Applewood and sharing songs around the fire with all of them. With both of them, and all of you, whoever comes to that course. So those are the 3 modules, which you can do in any order. So that's something important to share with you, that if you're like, oh, I need to start with the ACE, but I can't make those dates, actually it's okay. You can start with the Peace, because maybe that's what you need, is that really felt sense of peace in your body, before you can take on new information, or before you can do a design for yourself, or maybe just the dates work for the SEED course and that's the one to go with. So there's many ways of choosing which course to go on. So first, so the dates are one of them, or which course you're drawn to is another way of choosing. But they are non-linear, so you can build each time you do one, and each time I do a course, it builds my relationship with that phase and with the tools in a different way. So every course I'm still learning from. And I'm fortunate enough to have been on many cultural emergence courses so far in my life. And just to share something that I enjoyed about designing these pathways was I named them all individually. I looked at them, and it was first of all the Cultural Emergence Foundation course, and then it was like, no, I wanted something that was a bit I don't know, I wanted something nicer, so activating cultural emergence, and then they all came separately, and then it was like, they all make this a seed of peace, and I just felt that was a lovely emergent moment that happened from designing these 3 separate pathways together that are actually part of a whole package. And then when people have done the 3 modules, these 3 different courses, then they could choose to, if they want to, go on and become a cultural emergence facilitator as well. We're just launching our facilitator network, where there's some people who are ready to do courses and mentoring and such like, and offer that out into the world, because that's what we need, is many people that can offer these tools out into the world, so that they can really spread and really have this opportunity for us to reach this place of regenerative cultures. And as Leona said, we have the tools, it's about implementing them, it's about bringing them forward, and the more of us that can do that, the better. So that's a bit about the learning pathways. So the ACE course is happening here at Applewood in 10th to the 12th of June, and the Peace course in August, I think 16th to the 21st, and the Seed course in September. So I'll put those dates in the chat. Please do ask in the chat if you've got any questions around the courses. I'm very happy to answer those questions. Yeah, and I mentioned about singing round the fires, and that was really something that I was had the pleasure of singing round the fire many times with Leona last summer when she was here at Applewood, and I was just like, want more of that, and yeah, so now Leona's going to lead us in a little song. And I've done so much online choirs over the lockdown, and one of the beauties of online choirs is that no one can hear you, so we'll all stay muted, and we'll all get to do a duet with Leona. You're muted.
I'm unmuted now. So yes, so you've done a lot of listening so far, and it wouldn't be right if we just talk to you the whole time. That's not embodying this spirit of getting into our bodies, allowing our voices, being able to move. So right now I'm going to invite you to just connect a little bit to your belly. Maybe take a deep breath or 2. Feel your belly filling up, and empty it all out. Cleansing breath. And then I'm going to sing a song which I know it's been used and sung in many protests. And protest, why I say protest, I mean communicating what we love and want and need. I should call them intention gatherings, because really, when people stand up and stand forth and move their, use their bodies to say they don't like something or they want something different, it's all really about us connecting to what we really want and need. And so this song is quite a good call and response, very simple. I will sing. When I sing, I will tap my chest. Whenever it's for you to sing, I'll do this. And I will sing as well whenever it's for you to sing, so that you're singing along with me. Excuse me, I've got a croaky voice now. So it goes like this. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. When I say yes to the beat in me, when I say yes to the beat in me, I can set my spirit free. I can set my spirit free. When I say yes to the beat in you, when I say yes to the beat in you, I can see your light shine through. I can see your light shine through. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. When I say yes to the beat in me, when I say yes to the beat in me, I can set my spirit free. I can set my spirit free. When I say yes to the beat in you, when I say yes to the beat in you, I can see your light shine through. I can see your light shine through. Woohoo! Thank you, everyone. I love seeing people like coming in at all different times. Actually, it's a really good job we were all muted. But yeah, I love that energy of like, yeah, come on, we can do this together. We can do this.
Oh, thank you, Leona. I've really loved that. Reminded me of singing round the fire with you. So we were going to share a bit of storytelling about Applewood, weren't we? So do you want to start, Leona?
Yeah, sure. So who doesn't long for a place where you can go and there's a hearth, there's like a hearth where you can actually just sit and chill and be with other people who are also there with the intention for connecting healthily. I visited Applewood last year with my children, and I arrived quite frazzled and a little bit unsure about what I was going to be doing, and didn't really know anybody. I knew Looby, but didn't know who else was going to be there, and I just arrived at this place where there was this beautiful fire circle that was covered and held, and there was an outdoor communal kitchen, and I could see that there was this warm, cozy roundhouse space nearby, and this beautiful meadow, this really healthy meadow. I love a healthy meadow because I love collecting sweetgrass, and the meadow was just full of sweetgrass. So I just spent a long time wandering the meadow with the butterflies and the bees, and just lying there and smelling the smell of the sweetgrass and the orchard, and having this very profound experience of like, gratitude, deep gratitude that Looby's family have taken on this place and chosen to share it, and chosen to open it up to people to be able to create learning and connection and joy, and even like releasing some of the stuff that we build up in everyday life, the tension. I definitely arrived feeling tense and stressed, and left just feeling a real sense of groundedness in my body, and that was just from the space, that's what I loved about Applewood. Was there was nothing complicated about it, just real simple hearth holding space, which I just long for in my everyday life. And I live in a very beautiful valley in Calderdale, and I live on a lovely street with lovely neighbours, but it's a terrace, and it's very different to the space that Applewood is, and the space where we're going to be holding the peace course, and where Looby holds the other courses. So I just wanted to, like, the sense of place for me and the sense of home from home was just really profound and beautiful. And gratitude for the family that held it before you, Looby. You know, that they'd set up a lot of the small holding groundedness that is there, the foundations for it being what it is today. Yeah. Just wanted to share some of that, really. How about you, Regina?
Yeah, I totally join you in this welcoming feeling, which I also had when I came first time to Applewood, of course, also the second time. And we were also around the fireside to get to know each other and for eating and so on. And it was really funny that time, because usually I come to courses from the traveling, I'm really tired. But that time I arrived 2 days earlier in Manchester. So I had a good sleep, and everybody went after the program and disappeared. And so I was sitting there like, wow, I'm fully awake. What's going on here? Okay, cool. So I wandered around on the land, which is really big, and just explored it. And then I ended up sitting at my tarp, because I like to sleep outside all the time. And it's not a tent, it's just an open tent somehow under the apple trees. And I was like, wow, the full moon was shining, the stars were out, the owls were hooting, and I was totally charged up from this land and from the energy there, and felt absolutely at home, just being there for a few hours. And then I heard some movement in the grass and some noise of grass which is torn. And I remember that Looby said something about sheep, which are a bit not so social, and I haven't seen them all the time. So I got curious, and so I went, fox walked, like not disturbing them, trying to come closer, and it was working. And then all of a sudden they were like getting a bit aware of me. So I was stopping, and I was like, how can I come closer? And then I went on my knees and tried to pretend to be a sheep. They started grazing, and I went on, and they stopped grazing, and then I started grazing, like taking grass out and rubbing it together and imitating the noise they made from feeding. Yeah, so I really came quite close to them. And I really had fun, and they were a bit puzzled, like, what is this human doing there? And our connection went on. And in the second course, they were grazing around my tarp, and I was able to go in without disturbing them. And yeah, even sleeping there, it's the owls are hooting at night, and then around sunrise, the wren starts singing, and they are both really loud, but it's so great to wake up like that. No need to get up, but just to listen when they have their shift, or turning over the night shift to the day shift. And yeah, daytime, I mostly listen to the raven flying over in between. And it's just really a place where you can very fast meet people at the fireplace or in the house, and just very short distance, and you feel like you are in the wilderness. And there are still spaces like the pond. I haven't been at the pond yet. I didn't make it, so I'm happy to have more places to explore still. And it's very, very easy to connect to the nature and the beings there, because the place is so inviting, and the people are also connected who are there, at least after some hours or some days. We are all in this net of life. And having this experience, and to go back home, even if you live in a town, you can take this home and find your way in your environment of keeping this active. And that's really a power of Applewood. And I found it in the guest book that people say, or one person at least said, it's a healing place. So, and I totally agree with that. So Louis, how is Applewood for you?
Well, I am very, very privileged to call Applewood my home and to spend most days here. And I'm also very privileged that other people come here. And so whenever other people come here, they expand my knowledge of the place as well and expand my nature connection journey. So discover with Leona discovering sweetgrass on the steep bank. I'd just been reading Braiding Sweetgrass and I was like, there's sweetgrass here, amazing, you know, so I didn't know that. So my knowledge expands when other people are here. And it's nice you were talking about owls, and from like one of the first people that came to Applewood was John Young, who we've all trained with, me, Leona, and Regina, and through being on the land with him and through other people that have brought my nature connection journey to life, I've really expanded my senses all over. So just recently, I was down by the polytunnel and heard up by Grandmother Oak in the daytime an owl alarming, and I knew I'd already discovered that there was an owl nest in the nest box at Grandmother Oak, and so I was immediately able to I felt in my body. I hadn't heard an owl alarm before, but I felt in my body of like, something's happening, and I went over and the crows were attacking the owl, the owl was just ignoring me. So I had like half an hour, 45 minutes sharing a connection with the owl, who was completely unbothered by me because the crow was attacking it. And that story didn't end very well, because the next day I found the baby owl feathers scattered on the ground, and the nest was empty. But then my attention went to another nest down by the pond, and I've been hearing that. And then just on Monday, I went down and was just like, went with a friend and was like, there's an owl nest over there somewhere. And then just at that moment, they started squawking, and went over and they were branching. And then I went over the next day, and then they'd come over to the other side, so they'd gone a bit further, and I was there for an hour, and they were just like flying from tree to tree, and they were like right above me, these two little really fluffy owl chicks, and it was just such a beautiful connection. And so I'm so excited that was my story that I wanted to share with you, of just how much this place has supported my nature connection journey, but also how other people have come and helped support my journey from their connection with Applewood.
Thank you, Looby. So with that, having heard a little bit about Looby and Regina and I, and also about the courses that are available, and a little bit about Applewood, where it's all going to be held, would like us to sort of move forwards and imagine that we are in a future where we have been working with the Cultural Emergence Toolkit and the Cultural Emergence Web, and our communities have also, this work that we've been doing has filtered out into our communities and to our children's lives and to their communities. And we're now at a time, sometime in the future, hopefully not too far in the future, but a time where we've been experiencing the ripples and the effects of healthy connective practices in our everyday. So just for a moment, if you are willing, I invite you to just close your eyes and imagine being in this time, some years from now, where you and people around you have all been working away, bringing connection practices, designing things to be different in a way that feels good and nourishing and restorative and authentic. And this is normal now, where people are able to express themselves in a healthy way, and people aren't scared of grief, that challenges rise and they get witnessed and they get held and they get heard, and then they fall, because that's what happens when challenges come and they're seen and witnessed and heard. People come together, things change and move like nature does, and we accept it instead of resisting it, and we are able to move through. So on this day, I'm inviting you to imagine that you wake up with the sunrise coming through the window, and you are so in tune in your body now because you have really healthy living practices. You eat well in the way that you've always wanted to, not constantly bombarded by a culture of unhealthy eating and living, and your natural rhythm is in time with waking up with the sun and the birds. So when you hear the birds and the sun pokes its sunlight, the rays through the window, you wake up and you feel grateful to be alive. And you sit yourself up and maybe you hold a glass of water in your hand and you pour your gratitude into that water. Everything, right from the very beginning of the day, it's just something you do now. You pour all of your gratitude into that water, and then you drink it down so that every cell in your body is able to receive your felt gratitude through the water that you drink. And what a beautiful thing for your body to wake up with a whole glass of healthy water filled with gratitude. And then you breathe and you get up and you're aware that something's happening today. And maybe you walk outside, you step outside and you go to some hearth. You might be in an urban environment, you might be in the countryside, it might be a square or a park, or you might be in the woods or somewhere that you know there's going to be a gathering that day. It's been planned. And these gatherings, they happen regularly because that's the way now. People come together regularly to celebrate achievements, to share joy, to make decisions collectively. And maybe it's still early, very early, no one else is there yet. And you're just sitting there, holding that space, remembering maybe the last time that you were there, just the feeling. What does it feel like to know that all around you there's going to be people together of all ages, children, teenagers, people in their 20s, young families, older people, and everything in between. And everybody's mixing, and there are ways of people being together. Sometimes it's a social where people are singing, sometimes people are in circles, making decisions, finding ways. But there's a sense of these things happen regularly. This is known, and you are part of that somehow. Imagine how it would feel in your heart to know that that was all around you, and to know that this has happened regularly enough now that you can trust it. Just hold that feeling of really being in a time where you can trust that people are committed to working through cultural differences, the difficulties in understanding perspectives, the differences in opinions about how things should be used, and people are much more used to making decisions collectively together in the interests and for the benefit of all beings. And just for a moment, you hark back to this time where we're in this driven culture of profit and power, and you remember how did we live like that? And you don't spend too long there, because actually it's good to remember, but actually now you're in this place of beauty, this place of real life, authentic being, where things still happen, but you have a trust. And part of that has come from the work that you've been doing in the world, whatever that may be. What might that be? Is it an extension of what you're already doing? Or in your wildest dreams, might you be doing something completely different? If you could really do what you really wanted to do, what might that be? And the invitation is to just notice how it feels in your body. Notice how it feels in your heart. Notice how it feels in your thinking mind. The ease compared to all the fear that there once was. The ease of knowing that things will be worked through. And knowing that there's a connection, a real felt sense of connection between people and land and all the beings, the plants, the trees, the birds, the swimmers, the walking ones, the crawling ones, all of those that make and live with life, with us together on this planet as one great, giant, energetic organism of interwoven connection. And maybe just take that feeling and just rub it into your belly, rub it into your body, because that is how we create a future that's worth living into. Just really holding that embodied feeling of trust and love and hope and belief and vision. That feeling of belonging, of purpose, meaning, of continuous growth in a healthy, balanced, beautiful way. And with those questions and these are questions you'll might take with you beyond this call, like, if this world was possible, what would I need to do to get there? How could I participate in creating that world? What does the world need from me? Trusting that you are all that you need to be right now, and that you have all that you need to have. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself back to the call, to this time now, here, sitting with all of these others who have shown up, because there's somewhere inside us a shared belief in a better way of being and living, and that we all have a trust that there are ways of bringing forth a future where we can live harmoniously alongside each other. Yeah. Welcome back to now.
Wow, thank you so much, Leona. That was really delicious visualization there. Really felt into that world. Wow, well, time travels quickly, and we're nearly at the end of the call here. Yeah, but we'll stay on the line if keep the room open if people do want to stay and ask us some questions, but we'll close it in a moment just to keep to our time, as people will have other things to go to, I'm sure. But yeah, if there's one thing you'd like to put in the chat that you're taking away from this call, something that's a phrase maybe that's resonated with you, or maybe something that you're going to take forward into your life, please do put it in the chat. And yeah, I'll pass over to Regina to close us out.
It's hard. I'm getting curious what comes up in the chat now. A bit distracted. Yeah. We brought our minds and hearts together with gratitude in the beginning of this call around the virtual fire. We are ending with gratitude as well. And I want to thank everybody for the time you spent with us, for the support, because it's really great to have people here who are interested and who are joining the singing. If we see them or not, I felt that we were all around a fire and singing together and listening to stories, sharing stories. And there's a wish of a song to finish. Leona, do you maybe have one? A gratitude song to finish or something like that? And we could end with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that will be our ending. And thanks so much, and hope to see you again on Zoom, online, or in person at Applewood or another place and another time. And I really enjoyed that. And so Leona's song will separate our hearts and minds that we can go our own ways until we meet next time. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you,
to Leona. Or to Looby, you want to say something as well?
Yeah, just before Leona with the song, just some people sharing about being how energized they feel about being in this field, and connecting so peacefully, and coming to Applewood, yes, great, and just feeling like they found their tribe. So yeah, just some of the comments that are coming up in the chat, that appreciating that. Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Leona and Regina, and to all of you for coming. And let's close with a song, Leona.
Yeah, great. I've just put the words in the chat, and then I'll break it down. So it's in these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open to the miracle that is each moment. And so when I sing, I'll sing, and then I'll do this for you to sing, okay?
Do you mean to have your video off, Leona?
No, sorry. Let me sort that out. Sorry, everyone. I'm in a on my phone. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll sing when it's me, I'll do this. When I sing like this, it's for you to sing. In these times, in these uncertain times, in these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open. I will remain open to the miracle that is each moment, to the miracle that is each moment. In these times, in these uncertain times, in these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open. I will remain open to the miracle that is each moment, to the miracle that is each moment. I'll join that up a little bit now, so just watch for when I extend it. In these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open. In these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open to the miracle that is each moment, to the miracle that is each moment. One more time all together. In these times, in these uncertain times, I will remain open to the miracle that is each moment.
Beautiful, Leona. Whose song is it?
I can't remember, which is a really bad practice. But I did do a search for it when I found out the name, and it was, I just put in these times, and in these uncertain times I put the first line and it came up. So for people who are interested, you can find out. Thank you. My passion, one of my passions is definitely singing together. So it's really, really lovely to be able to share it with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was really nourishing. Beautiful.
So for people who want to stay, if there are any questions, we can answer any questions now about practical things, dates, content, anything that has come up. You're welcome to ask any questions now. And if you need to leave now, do feel free to give us a wave and head off.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.